Hi, so my name is Dr. Brian Levine, and I'm currently a fellow in reproductive endocrinology and infertility at Weill Cornell Medical Center. I recently was invited by Google to be part of the Google Glass Explorers group, which means that I'm one of the people that actually gets the chance to use Google's new technology called Google Glass. As you can see here, Google Glass looks different. It's not something that you would expect to be a computer, but in fact, it's more of like an accessory to your computer, but has a lot of your computer's functions. Some things you can do with Google Glass include wearing it and letting people make comments about you, using it to tell the time, or actually really delving into some medical aspects. And that's what I'm going to talk to you today. My goal is to actually introduce you to Google Glass, share with you some of the features, and over the next few videos, we're actually going to go through some really cool things that you can do in your clinical practice today to help improve your clinical efficiency. So I'll start by saying that Google Glass is not commercially available. In fact, you have to be invited by Google to join it. Of course, you can email me any questions that you want at drbrianlevine@gmail.com, but actually I can't get you an invite to Google Glass. In fact, I have no idea how I got invited, but all I can say is that eventually there will be more invites that are sent out there. For starters, Google Glass is a wearable technology, which means you put it on your face, and it helps you introduce technology into your daily workflow and how you kind of move around. As you can see here, it kind of looks like a pair of sunglasses that are missing the glasses. It's a simple frame. It has a screen in the front, and across, as you go along the side here, you'll see there's this ridge. This ridge is actually all touch sensitive, so you touch on it, you swipe on it, and that's how you get directions. And in the back here is the battery pack. This is what gives it its crazy hours of battery. They say somewhere between 6 and 8 hours. I've actually yet to get more than 2.5, but this is what gives it all the juice. So when you first put it on, what you'll see is that it says the time. And then in quotes, it says OK Glass. And OK Glass is the command that you use to drive the device. From there, it lets you scroll through a whole number of applications by moving your fingers like this and scrolling along. Or you can swipe up and swipe down. It's incredibly comfortable, and as you can see, although some people might make fun of you for the way that you look, it actually is pretty far out of my sight. In fact, the screen itself is only in the upper outer corner of my peripheral vision, which makes for a pretty usable experience. I should mention that on this screen here, and I'll try to show it to you if you can see, is this tiny little prism here that you don't want to touch, and that's where the vision or the image is projected on here. And then the back here is this little sensor right here. If you can see that little thing right there, that's actually the speaker, but you can't hear the speaker. What it does is it vibrates against the bones in your head to cause conductive sound. So in fact, it's actually very easy to hear even in a noisy environment. But some of the things you can do with Google Glass is you can actually have it sync with your entire Google profile. So if you're recognizing I'm using the word Google a lot, that's correct. To use this technology, you need to be a Google user. So you have to have a Gmail account, Google Calendar, Google+, Google Hangouts, which is actually how we're doing this right now with you guys. There's a lot of other Google products you can use. The good thing is that every Google product is free. So all you have to do is have the time to sign up. But through the device itself, it actually can very easily sync with your phone. In fact, I'm an iPhone user. And so on my iPhone here, I'll show you, I have an application called Glass. And here you can see it shows Brian Levine's Glass. And this kind of helps me navigate through everything. Helps me be able to add Wi-Fi networks and some of the things you can't do because there's no keyboard on there. But what I can do with Glass is very simply say, OK Glass, access my calendar, and I will see all my calendar appointments for the day. Or OK Glass, Google whatever, and I can look things up right away. Or I can say, find me directions. So on a day like today in New York City, where it's 30 degrees and it's cold and it's snowy and rainy, I now don't have to take off my gloves to type on my phone. I can actually just wear it on my face and say, OK Glass, get me directions to whatever, and actually all the directions will be in front of my face. Other things you can do is you can take pictures. There's a camera right here on the front. So in fact, you can do a Google Hangout with someone and have a live video chat where they see what you see, which allows for a user experience. And you will see the images of the Google Hangout projected in here in the screen. So it kind of is like a virtual reality lecturing. But the focus of this talk is medicine, and not just about the cool little Google features of it. So one of the first things I think we can do with Google is take a look at where we all got our start, which is in the classroom. And one of the main features of Google Glass out of the box that you can use today is this Google Hangout. Let's say that you're doing surgery and you want to record the surgery for whatever reason, for an educational purpose, for example. You can actually now offer a bird's eye surgeon's view of the surgery itself. Of course, this opens a whole host of patient confidentiality issues and privacy issues that we can discuss in future posts. But from an educational perspective, you can actually offer the medical student the view that they've always wanted, which is, what is it like to do that? What does it look like when this guy's doing this? What does this woman see as she's operating? The other thing you can do is you actually can record the surgeries to allow for self-improvement. So I can actually do a surgery, for example, record it with my Google Glass and look back at it and say, you know what? I should be doing this, I should be doing that. These tissue planes are maintained, these are not. It allows for a really dynamic educational experience with no modification to your current workflow. Put it on your face and hit the record button. The other thing that I can imagine it being used for is a consultative purpose. Let's say, for example, you're in the operating room, you don't have access to a specialist. You're in somewhere that's a remote location, maybe somewhere in the rural United States, or even somewhere else in the world, and you see something just doesn't look different, or somehow surgically you got yourself into trouble. Well, by using Google Hangouts, you actually could show your partner over the internet what you're seeing and get advice through the speaker here and see what they want to see. They could pull up on a Google Hangout a picture from a textbook, for example, or a picture from something else. In fact, with Google Glass, you're kind of never alone, which is something I never was able to appreciate until I really started using this for this back and forth Hangout-like process. There's a couple other things we could talk about, but I think that in future posts we're going to go through some other features that are available through the Glass. But today the whole goal is really just to introduce you to this, to let you know what this thing is that you're seeing on people's faces, to let you know that actually it really does work, and to let you know that I'm excited enough that you're going to have to keep watching these posts to learn more about Google Glass. Thanks for watching our first one.